Hi, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about something that is going to get in some people's feelings, but here we go. Everyone wants to be controlled, or everybody wants to control something. Why is it so challenging for us to just be in that middle stage where we're just kind of, the words I want to use here are free floating, allowing ourselves to just be able to move and be without it being in the sense of, because I'm scared of that, I need to control it, because they're scared of me, that they need to control me, that I could just get out of all that type system, that type loop. Why is it that we have to be in something to feel something? That's a perfect way of saying it. Why is it that we have to control something to make us feel like we're alive? And if everything isn't in order, everything isn't in control, everything isn't under your strict guidelines, not even strict, just guidelines, period, that you have the sense of, I'm nobody, I'm nothing, because I don't have it all figured out. I don't have it all managed. I don't have it all under my control. So I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. At the same time, on the other side of that, if you're unable to do that, you want somebody to come in and tell you what to do, everything to do, every way to do it. You don't want to be able to make a decision. You want for someone to be able to say to you, this is how you do it. You better sit down. You better shut up. It's crazy that it's like, in reality, it's how our society is set up today. It's like, those are your only two options. And those are only two options, that everything on this planet is so divided that it's like we want us to have those only two options in everything in life. And it comes down to control. You either want to control or you want to be controlled. You may not want to be controlled, but you have no choice but to be controlled if you don't want to put anything in control. And a lot of times, both of these sides are coming at it in a way of not knowing how to be able to let's say control your own self, but know how to be able to just live, know how to just be able to be, know how to be able to just do effectively without needing someone's approval. And at the same time, not needing someone to dictate to you, that you are able to get up and make happen what you need to make happen on your own. For some reason, that seems to be like a lost skill, a lost art on these lands, that we don't know how to just be able to do just because. Why do we do what we do? Just because. I want to do it for the self-reward of being able to get myself into a better place. That's why I do it. Not because I'm going to disappoint somebody, or not because somebody is going to lay hands on me to make me do what it is that I do. It's an interesting thing. It's just sitting out here, just looking at these cows and watching what they're doing. They're so much, it's so messed up. They're so much smarter than us. And something simple that I'm watching them do right now. They're all standing right here. I got Johnny out here. I don't know why he's out there. He's just hanging out. But I want him to get better with the cows anyways. But they all came up in the sense of looking at this dog like, hey, buddy, you're not supposed to be here right now. Your man's in the patio. You're supposed to be in there with him. So they all came up to him. And what they did was they pushed the babies off to go confront the dog, basically, to say, hey, buddy, we're here. Don't try to run us away. And it's in a way of the moms are literally teaching the kids how not to be a pushover, how to stand firm on your own feet or hooves. They got hooves. How to stand firm for your own self. How to be able to go and being able to get for your own self, that you don't need me no more. They literally are just pushing them off. So they're sending 3 babies off, and they're all just getting closer and closer and closer to Johnny. If Johnny doesn't move, the moms come in and they just put a little bit of pressure, say, hey, buddy, get out of here. To show the kids you could do this, you could do this. Oh, we're all done. You could do this. And it's just, they're convincing these kids you could be on your own. You don't need me, and you don't need this. You could be able to do it on your own. You're in your own control of your own life. You don't need someone else to do it for you, and you don't need to do it to someone else for you to be able to live. It's an interesting thing to just watch the animals. They do some incredible things that we as humans really are I guess, missing these life lessons in reality of just knowing how to be able to get out and go and do for your own self. Most of us can't do that. And that's where it's an interesting thing of people get scared. People get scared when what they thought is how they want to view it, and how that person should, let's just go on that simple sense right there. You want someone to be a way. And when you see that they're not the way that you want them to be, you start to get scared. And when you start to get scared, what do? You start to control, because you control what you start to get scared of. And when you start to try to control what you're scared of, you're not growing anymore. You're now going backwards. You're going downhill. You're not allowing yourself to be able to get through this. Why am I nervous? Why is this going on with me? Why am I getting frustrated? Why am I getting irritated? And you're allowing that to just keep further pushing you, as opposed to just getting through it. That's the main thing that I'm always going to continue to keep on talking about in all of my videos, is getting through the control. Everybody's so worried about just a simple aspect of yes, I'll be talking dogs right now, but dogs are just right now in my life with where I am with what I'm talking about. But it's greater than that. Because if you can't learn to take the control of the simple dog, you don't know how to take the control of yourself with your employer, with your employees, with your spouse, with your children, with your friends, with your everything in your life, with even your own self. You're not capable of being able to do that, because you actually have a dog in your face that you're able to see what you're doing too. And the dog is able to give you real feedback, real lifetime of what's actually going on. And if you're not able to get through that, then you're not ready for the next stages. And some people are trying to move to different stages without figuring out like the basics, the beginning of what's going on in my life. Why am I here? Something that it's just really caused me to be such a, I'm going to say, a people pleaser, is not being able to do what I just saw those cows just do right now, is learn how to stand up for yourself. Know how to, something is going on, someone is pushing you around, someone is abusing you, someone is doing whatever, and you're not standing up and just, for best case scenario, just saying no. But you're not standing up for yourself to be able to just push through it and push past it. Worst case scenario, you're avoiding it, thinking you're helping. You're running away from it, as opposed to just going first into it of saying, this is what I need to do. Because when you're running away from it, you're controlling it. You're trying to control your environments to make it be what you want it to be, and that is impossible. You can't do that. You can't do that. That is setting you up for failure, because you can't keep running away from everything that comes to you. You're going to get a boss. You're going to get a friend. You're going to get something. Something's going to come to you. You're going to get a random person on the street that's going to come to you that's going to shatter your entire existence. And it can put you in a downward spiral because you're constantly running away from things, as opposed to going headfirst into what it is that you're struggling with. Going headfirst into it. That's the coolest thing about the dog, to be able to see in real time what's going on. You see that the dog is scared, and you see, okay, we got to go through this. We got to do this. We got to push past this. We can't keep avoiding it. We can't keep escaping. We can't keep trying to fake about it. We can't use drugs with it. We can't do anything. We got to just go into it. And then when you see that, that's for me, the logic starts to kick in my brain. My gears start turning, saying, that's fascinating. That I just saw that happen with that. Let me try to implement that in my life now. This is a thing that a lot of people, you think that your life is good and great, but all you're doing is trying to control your environment, trying to control it in a way of make it be the way you want it to be. And that goes against, this is my main book I really like reading, my Bible. Every time I talk about my Bible, I lose like hundreds of subscribers. And unfortunately, I'm just going to have to continue to keep on talking about that book, because that's the life core of my life in reality. But I forgot what I was saying for a second. Man, give me a second. I like that book. Oh, that's the life core of our life, to be able to get through these issues and not keep on trying to mask and trying to run from it. But the biggest thing here is I just really see with folks is, when you're trying to control your entire environment, when you're trying to just like, I need it all fixed, that's where you're trying to be a god on this planet. You're trying to say, I have to make them be this way so that they can make me happy. I have to be this way so that I can make myself happy. I have to make sure that these people stay away from me so that I can be happy. You are not letting the control go. You're amplifying further into it. The more that you're really, the worst case scenario in my mind of looking at it is trying to escape and trying to avoid. You're trying to control. And the more that you're trying to control, the more you're trying to be a god on this planet. Some of y'all, that's what you want. That's what you strive to be. But a lot of us, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for more, the word I want to use here is peace. And you can't gain peace by being in control of everything. It's not going to happen. There's going to be something everywhere that your radar is going to be going off all the time, all situations, all kinds of places. It's just going to be constantly going and going and going. You're never going to be able to just relax and settle. You're never going to be able to just see something going on over there and be able to say, oh, I see what's going on. I see that's what's happening. And you see it, you sit in it, you feel that feeling, you get used to that feeling, you understand that experience, then you just get through it. That's the moment that you're going to start to be able to find peace. Because if you're always trying to control, which is running away and escaping and avoiding and doing all that, the more that you're having to keep on alert everywhere you go. And this is something that I personally see in dogs. It's just weird to me that I see dogs that are just on alert everywhere you go. And they're on alert because you're on alert, because you're trying to control everything around you. Not only just a dog, but everything in life. You're trying to control everything. And when you're trying to control everything, you're going to be in this it can force you to be in anxiety. It can force you to be in all these crazy things that it can force you into being. We go deeper into some mental health stuff. It can put you in having personality disorders. It could put you into having multiple voices. It could put you into having all kinds of different things. It could put you into splitting and being 2 different people or 3 different people or 5 different people. It could do some crazy stuff to you, being in control of everything. Because you have to, especially when you're in control, especially if you're trying to avoid, it can force you to have to try to be something that you're not, so that you don't, say, get hurt. If you got someone that coming to you that is a little going against what you feel comfortable with, and you're not willing to just stand up and say, no, like, I don't want this. I don't want you to do this to me anymore. You're going to change who you are to adapt to that person, to try to make yourself look and be a way so that they can just relax and let you go. But they didn't let you go. They can see that. And this is the part with me and why I'm definitely a huge biblical person, because it's not all stuff that we can see. There's things that are going on that just doesn't make quite sense. And those things that we don't see, that's what's being drawn. That's what's triggering you. How you could just have one person show up in your life and say one or two words to you, and it just could just throw you off because you're still trying to control it. If that person can say one or two things and you're not trying to control it, you're not trying to run and hide from what you're doing, it wouldn't affect you. But it's going to affect you, and it's going to keep coming to you everywhere. That's why you're on alert. That's why you're on guard, because you're trying to make sure that you have your safe space. And you're just not going to create a safe space by controlling. You create a safe space by letting it go, because the safest place to be is if someone comes in and is trying to talk about you, talk bad about you. What are you going to do? You're just like, I don't care. Like, whatever. It doesn't bother me, because it shouldn't bother you. And the more that you just look at it and know that it doesn't bother you, the more that in reality, the other people aren't going to bother you anymore. And then that's where you're going to find that peace. But the more bothered you are by it, it's going to keep poking and poking and poking and poking. It's just going to keep going. It's going to keep going because you just don't know how to let it go. You got to let it go. And this is the sense of everyone's. I know most of the audience today is wanting more information on dog stuff, but in reality, if you have a reactive dog, it's not the dog. The dog has this thing that we as humans have to be able to work them through. And the more that we don't work them through it, the more the dog is just going to continue to keep getting worse. And the problem is we can see that the dog is scared, especially. Well, I would say more women over men, for sure, in this aspect. That you could see the nervousness, the scaredness. It's just the emotional thing that's within women that's different than women and men. That you're more when the kid is crying, you're more towards, oh, let me help the kid. Where more guys are, the kid's crying, we're kind of look at it like, hey, look at that boy, keep crying over there. What happened to him? Like it's just more off-hands approach. Women are more on-hands approach. So this is something that I just see in unfortunately so many women today, that the dog is scared, and you see that the dog is scared, and you see something in yourself that you're also scared of, and you're not wanting to push past it, push through it, get back, just be able to I gotta do something about this. I can't keep running from it. And then when you keep running from it, you see that your dog gets nervous and you running from it, and then you watch the dog get worse. And then it's just like this, the psychological games that are going on. That's just, you can see that in your own self, that you have the same issues. The same exact issues are going on with you. You're running away from things. You're not standing up for yourself. You're not going head first into what you know you need to go into. You're constantly just trying to avoid it. And then you're trying to control it all, and you're trying to put on fake smiles and fake this and fake everything to try to make people think that you are a way and you're not. And it's the same thing with guys, but I just see that specific scenario more in women, where guys are more on the side of kind of mess the dogs up in a way of ended up getting them to be extra fearful, because we're kind of be a little bit too much on the you better because I said so type language. It's just normal. It's just, hey, why are we crying? Like, let's just move on. Let's go make something happen right now. Like, let's go run. Let's go do something. As opposed to like, let's just sit back and just cuddle type language. And in that sense, that shows that, hey, I need to maybe like let some of that go for a lot of guys. You might be out here trying to be too, this might not be the right word, but too gangster. You're trying to be like too up there, where it's like, dude, just chill. You could be more compassionate. You could be more kind. You could be more humble. You could take the ego down. You could just relax. You could just chill. You don't need to be like everything's perfect and everything's right. You could just relax, because the more that you're trying to have everything looking away, you're trying to control it to be the way that you want it to look, as opposed to allowing things to happen the way that they need to just be able to happen. And they need to be able to happen in a flowing stance of everyone is seen, everyone is heard. Everyone, if you put on a boundary of saying, I don't want this, then you stick firm to it and say it. And if that person keeps pushing back at that, then it is what it is. You got to go. But if that person is listening to your boundaries and saying to you, okay, I see what you're saying, you can have a dialogue. But the moment that you say, I can't do this, not that you're going to run away from it, but you straight up say to that person, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I thought that this was going to go somewhere. I thought something was going to happen from it, but it's just not. Then at that moment, it should just be finished. It's just over with at that time. And if that person decides that they want to just keep doing what they're doing, you got to just Put your hands away and just say, it is what it is, man. You can keep trying. You can keep going, girl. But, you know, I told you I'm not going to do this because you're disrespecting my boundaries that I put in place. But a lot of people are incapable of being able to do such a thing anymore. You're allowing them to just keep pushing and pushing. You put that boundary, say, don't do this. And you're just like, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's all right. And that's what's destroying so many of us, because you're trying to control every aspect of everything. And that's the part with me that it's just not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to get anywhere to be a good, successful thing, when, especially if you're trying to be a people pleaser in the sense of, I'm just going to put on this face, put on this persona to make sure that no one can get at me. I want to act this way. I'm going to only allow these people around me and only interact with these people so that I look like I'm a good person, so that people will want to listen to what I have to say. That's not the information that I personally know, especially being a biblical believer. I'm not going to only just talk to people that I agree with. I'm going to talk to people that I don't. And in reality, I kind of want to talk more to people that I don't agree with, because I have to be able to show someone that I don't agree with who I am. I'm going to come at you with respect. I'm going to be kind to you. I'm going to be compassionate with you. I'm going to be forgiving with you. I'm going to be everything with you. And that's how we are able to live on these lands. And that's something that, unfortunately, excuse me, it's something that just, it's like we're not doing that anymore. Because unfortunately, like most people today, they want to keep that control in the sense of, I want that person to be like my God. I want that person better be everything that I want so that I can live my life through them. That's so that's I'm gonna go straight to the hardcore word of what that is. That's evil. That's evil to the core of what evil represents. Sitting here trying to make and get someone to be what you want them to be, as opposed to you being who you need to be. You doing what you need to do. John, you can come back in here. You can come in. I don't care, but you standing like, come on. This dude, this dude's so funny. Sorry, he just jump over whatever he want. Oreo, come here. You good, boy. There's something about this dog. I don't know what it is. I don't know if anyone else has probably had a scenario like this, but this dog loves jumping stuff. He's so big, and he could jump these. Well, I don't know how high this is. It's only like 3.5 feet or so, but he could jump like 4-foot fence, just like it's nothing. He just enjoys it. I like taking him to fences and stuff, and just say, hey, buddy, just jump, and he just like he'll jump back and forth. He just likes to jump stuff. It's very, very strange. But that's the biggest dilemma I have with him, is always jumping out instead of just staying where I wanted him to be. But once I let him do that jumping stuff, that's the part of where I would say is more control. I will control him to say, hey, you are not allowed to this, you are not allowed to that. And then once I let that control go and said, hey, actually, let's like work on this so you can get a better skill with it. Now I don't have that issue at all, period, anymore. He never jumps out when I tell him not to jump out. And he pretty much always jumps back to me anytime that I ask him that, hey, this is where I want you to go. This is what I want you to do. It's a very interesting thing of everything that I see about this whole concept of just control. The more that I control, the worse everything is in my life. The more I let it go, the more things that I don't even think that I'm controlling, I start to really pay close attention to, like, what's actually going on right now in my life? Why am I having this conflict right now? Why am I having this feeling of I need to, excuse me, I need to run away right now? I'm going to put a saying out there. I said this before, but everybody be careful out there. Make sure you're eating right, exercising right, doing what you need to do, because I don't ever get like weird stuff feelings, and I've been that this year a little bit. I get waves of it. It comes in when my throat feels like I need to drink some more, take some tea or something, and it's something's extra going on right now for sure. Something weird. But then again, it is like cold today again. It was like 90, 100 degrees the other day, and it was 30 something degrees yesterday. And so it is very strange with our weather. But the more that I'm sitting here controlling every little aspect and seeing that, the more I'm not getting what I need. I have to just be able to just release, just relax it. Just, there's a chicken on the roof. How'd it get on the roof of the house? This thing. Sorry. Look, it's on the dang roof. How did a chicken get a roof on the house? Like, that's a jump. the more the more I'm looking around in my life at all these things, when I start to get these feelings of like, oh my goodness, what's happening? I have to just relax. I have to just let it go. I have to just go into it. I can't run from it. And that's going on with so many people, unfortunately. And hey guys, let's leave him alone. Johnny, come here. I know she's not where she's supposed to be. She's about to jump and hurt herself. All right, guys. We'll let this play out for a second. Ophi. Ophi, come here. Let Oreo get her out. Ophi, you're no good at that. Come here. He ain't gonna be able to get her out. Give me a second. Let me go get this dang hen real fast. If I can. Johnny, go home. Oreo, go home. Ophi, go home. Come here, girl. All right, thank you. Sorry, I don't feel like stitching and editing this one together. We just making the video as it is. This is just life. Some days I try to get it all set up all right, but it just don't really work out all that great. They're not supposed to be, they're not in this area, in the dog's area. The chickens aren't supposed to be in here. So when they get in this area, it's like, get them the heck out of here type scenario. And I do apply a little bit of pressure because otherwise they try to lay eggs here. And I don't know what it is with these chickens. They're smart, but they're not smart. They're not smart. But the more I try to control every aspect of their life, even the worse and worse, everything just keeps on getting with them. They end up in an absolute just rampage of not being just this weirdness that goes on. And that's just something that I've just been realizing about everything in life. It's like you were running from, and that running from is controlling, because now you're controlling in a way of trying to make yourself either be what you want the other people to be, or you're trying to make the other people be what you want them to be. That is not a proper way of any of us be living on these lands out here and thinking that we're going to be able to get anywhere by doing that. And that's where it's like cool experience to be able to get like first help with working on these concepts with the dog, and realizing and seeing the dog of how much you're actually controlling this animal, and seeing how it is and how it's acting. And the moment that you start to release that control, you're going to start to see things just get better and better and better. It doesn't make any sense, but it's just going to get better and better. It's going to be hard at first because it's new. It's new. It's very new to just like say, hey, you know what? Buddy, you like to jump a fence? Let me get this fence set up so you can jump it. Buddy, you like to chase the ball? Let's get the ball out there and let's get you running. But it takes that. You have to do something. And you have to get up and you have to make it happen. You have to push through it. You have to see that everything isn't this perfect oasis that you want it to be. But in reality, most cases, it's going to end up being that in the end. Because once you release all of that control, then everything, especially with the dog, my goodness, the dog wants to be there. It wants to be with you. It's in its DNA for like thousands and thousands of years to wants to be with us, to wants to do stuff with us. And we have to release that control for them to want to be with us. They're not like, because at the end of the day, humans, we don't work the same way. That's why there's so much toxicity going on with a lot of relationships today, because we're putting that pressure on of trying to control that person to be what we want them to be, and that person is controlling us for us to be what they want them to be. And it may work for a little while. It may look good for a little while, but there's going to be this tension that's going to have to start to happen. And that's what the dog is. The dog does the exact same thing. It'll work for a little while, but the tension is going to have to start to happen. When that tension comes in, then what? Then where do we do? Then what's going to have to happen? But most cases, what we do is we apply more onto it because we get scared. We get scared of seeing what we're seeing, and then we put more on it, as opposed to getting scared to see the best in. That's the part that it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to look at your life and decide and start to pick through the things that you're doing. Pick through the things that you're smiling at people that you need not to be smiling at, but you're just doing it to try to say, keep yourself safe. But in reality, that smile may be putting you for more danger in the end anyways. This is a thing that, I don't know if I'll tell you, I'll talk about that. I see that, and young ladies do that a lot, unfortunately. Y'all be smiling at certain dudes in certain situations, and then you're thinking you're doing it in a way of like just being nice and being sweet. But the guy's not taking it that way. The guy's taking it in a further way than that. So when you keep doing that, you keep building this guy's expectations. And yes, I'll say it, it's a little boy. He should be able to have more self-control. But a lot of these people don't anymore today because they don't know who they are. So then you're putting yourselves, both people are putting themselves in a dangerous situation, doing stuff they need not to be doing. If you don't like somebody, just straight up, straight up, I don't like you. It is what it is. Don't lie about it. Don't try to put mixed signals out. Don't try to add anything extra to it. Just be straight up. That's unfortunately, I do that too much today, and it may hurt someone's feelings in the short term, but I'd rather hurt your feelings up front than allow this to just drag on for months or years. I'd rather just hit it up now. Just say, you know what, this not for me. It's not for me. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this. I'd rather just do that. Where before, man, I used to just, I guess the word is milk it out. I used to just sit in it. I know I didn't want something, and I would just stay in it. I know I didn't want to be around somebody. I don't want to be friends with somebody. I would just stay in it, as opposed to just being blunt and upfront and just saying, this is what it is. This is what it is. I just don't want it. I don't like you. I don't care about you. And it is what it is. But knowing that, I'd rather just hurt your feelings in that little bit up front. But that's not going to be me controlling you, that later on, it may be something way, way more drastic. Thank you. You guys good? These chickens are infiltrating my front yard again. We gotta put them back in the backyard. There's actually none up here right now. All right, you can go out. You can go out. They're all out here looking for food now. There's something about just watching these animals do what they do. I think that is something that a lot of people aren't getting anymore, and I didn't get as a child. Being able to see how they act and how they interact and how everything just is together. It teaches you stuff on just watching them. Stuff I'm just sitting here watching these cows earlier, just watching what they were doing with the kids. I'm like, they're literally doing like what every parent on this planet should do. Is like, show your kids that they're good on their own. They can handle themselves. They're fine. They're going to be able to conquer the world. They're going to be able to make it on their own. I'm watching cows do that. But nowadays, I just rarely in reality see parents that are willing to want to do that with their kids. They're trying to control the kids down to like, the world is scary, and they just want to like smother them more and more and more. Where I'm just watching these animals, they're like, you're fine. Go. You'll be all right. And if you need some help, I'll still help you out for now. But at some point, that help's going to go away. Then the kids will be able to stand up for themselves and be able to move off and do what they need to do. It's just a phenomenal thing to see. But I don't see that as like lessons that the most of us are even living by today. We're just constantly just like running away from stuff and hiding from stuff. And that's the main stuff that I see is the running and hiding, as opposed to just going into it. We got to go into what we're scared of. I know you're nervous. I know you're a little timid right now, but you just gotta get through it. You gotta push past it. That's the main thing that I'm gonna say about every single one of y'all's dogs out here that is reactive or so-called and scared and all this. You gotta get them through it. You gotta push them through it. You gotta get them to just be able to experience it so that they can be able to get past it. And it's not this weird, exciting, crazy madness anymore. It's just normal at that moment.